What is up, guys? We are back. It is Chase here.
This is Gerard.
We are the
Lion's Den. All right, so this week, Chase, kind of same episode as last time. You know, I'll go over week 7, our week 7 recap, some snubs and some surprises, week 8 predictions.
First off, though, we got to say something because he's not going to let me hear the end of it. This is going to be our new trophy. Yep. See a little line. We got a prop. We got this as well. I'm going to give this to him because we have 2 lock picks. Last week, I believe you picked the Bengals.
I picked the Bengals over the Ravens, and I picked the Titans over the Chiefs. So.
And I picked the Ravens and the Titans, so I got to hold this L.
But I know more about sports. So this would be our new weekly trophy. Whoever gets it, whoever gets the most right over the week, they get the trophy.
We'll
if you tie, we put it in the
episode.
middle, but he's a sit by me today because, like I said, I won.
Yeah, that will be changing, though. Don't expect that.
It's not going to be changing. He might as well still get a little comfortable here and start paying rent right there because my little buddy's really comfy right there.
All right, let's get on with it. So the games this week. Let's
recap last week first.
Recap last week.
So who were some of your snubs from last week, like disappointed you in week 7?
Like team-wise or?
Anything-wise. Mine was just the week 7 games overall. They were pretty boring games this week.
Pretty boring.
This year, so far in the NFL, we've had a lot of good games.
Yeah.
Every week's had a really good game. But last week was just a really boring football game.
As a Saints fan, probably, even though we won, the Saints offense, like, I know we need Michael Thomas back desperately. No matter how much of a, like, drama may come with him, I mean, he's still a stud.
Definitely. I agree with you there. I just think it was just I think we're a defensive team now. I think our identity has changed.
Jameis is just inconsistent.
But we really don't have any weapons. Jameis is good. He threw 3 dimes last week that should have been caught, but our receivers are absolute garbage.
He's just always got a play in him there that you just like screaming at your TV.
Yeah, like, you do. Yeah, when he starts doing all this,
yeah,
I'm just so nervous.
I mean, I like the guy, but he's
so another snub that you told me about before the show started. We kind of talked about it is the Dolphins. They kind of snubbed. They lost to the Falcons. They're 1-6 now. They have the same record.
Some people they went 10-6 last year. Somebody reminded me of that, or not you. I think I just saw it on Instagram. But yeah, they went 10-6 last year. A bunch of people thought they'd make the playoffs.
A lot of people had them winning the division.
Their defense was supposed to be really good. They were good last year, especially their secondary. And
it's just looking rough.
Had injuries or what, but yeah, they're doing pretty terrible.
Pretty terrible.
On a 6-game losing streak.
And my last snub from last week is everybody's been talking about this year. The Chiefs. The Chiefs are a huge snub.
Defense. Also, Pat Mahomes not playing very well.
Notice how I pointed at you with the trophy. Can I use this as like a pointer to talk when I want to talk to you? Like,
if you want.
All right, sweet. So who were some of your surprises from last week?
Surprises was the Bengals, I'd say. I wasn't shocked.
Bengals?
Okay, I did pick the Ravens. I wasn't shocked that they won, but it was the fashion in which they won. 41-17.
They blew them
out.
And
the Ravens, I mean, supposed to be a good defense.
I still think the Ravens
they are struggling
a
little this year.
Just a bad
More
game.
than usual, but I mean, they've been a great defensive franchise just historically in last year.
Without a doubt. They gave up 41 to Joey
Jamar and Joe just absolutely torched
JoJo.
So 400 something for Joe and over 200 for Jamar.
So
against Marlon Humphrey too.
Yeah,
so.
Marlon Humphrey's no scrub. So one of my surprises from last week, the Raiders and the Saints both only have 2 losses. Those are 2 teams coming in this year. A lot of people didn't know how they were going to play and perform.
Right.
Saints at 4-2, Raiders at 5-2. Even after firing their head coach, they're 2-0 after firing their head coach. I think that's kind of crazy. And my last surprise from last week, no one really noticed this because the games were so boring. Remember how I told you last week also the most boring game of the week was going to be the Jets and the Patriots?
Yeah.
Well, the Patriots put up 54 points and Zach Wilson got injured, so that game was pretty boring. So that was my surprises. So let's move on to week 8 predictions. I'm going to read off the games. So tonight we have Thursday Night Football. Remember who plays tonight?
It is tonight, yeah.
Tonight is Green Bay and Arizona. Who do you have winning that one?
Originally, I went with Green Bay, but when I saw the injury report, Devontae Adams is out, Lazard's out.
True.
I'm gonna stick with Arizona at home.
Stick with Arizona.
I think they keep it rolling.
Well, I have to disagree with you right there, buddy. I feel like Arizona's Cinderella undefeated runs in this week. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is gonna ruin that for him. So let's move on to the Sunday games at 12 o'clock. We have Carolina at Atlanta, Miami at Buffalo, San Francisco at Chicago, Pittsburgh at Cleveland, Philadelphia at Detroit, Tennessee at Indianapolis, Cincinnati at the Jets, the Rams at Houston.
And by the way, new thing too. So we're doing our lock picks. That's going to be the weekly thing. But
that's going to be the weekly.
In silent, we're going to tally up all of our picks for the week. and we'll see. We'll come up with something at the end of the year. But
of course,
you want to tell them our picks, or you think?
Yeah, we definitely. Let me finish rolling through these games.
Okay.
So the 3 p.m. slot: Jacksonville at Seattle, Tampa Bay at New Orleans, Washington at Denver. 7 p.m. Sunday Night Football, Halloween night. You have Dallas traveling to Minnesota to play. And then to wrap up the week, you have a pretty mediocre Monday Night Football game between the Giants and the Chiefs. New York will travel to Kansas City for that one.
I don't think that's too bad of a game.
Not too bad of a
see
game.
What the Chiefs are made of after their crappy start.
Yeah, they got the doors blown off them last week. All right, so just quickly roll us through your predictions. Like I said, just quick, just read out the game. So I
got Carolina over Atlanta. I got Buffalo over Miami. I got San Francisco over Chicago. Cleveland over Pittsburgh. Philly over Detroit. I got Indy over Tennessee. Hint at later in the podcast. Cincinnati over the Jets for sure. Rams over Houston. Seattle over Jacksonville. Tampa Bay over the Saints. And Denver over Washington. Sunday Night Football, I got Minnesota over Dallas. Monday Night Football, I'm going to stick with Kansas City.
Wow, really? Mm-hmm. You have Minnesota over Dallas?
Yep.
So who's your 2 locks and who's your freezing cold take of the week?
2 locks are Buffalo over Miami and the Rams over Houston.
So keep that in mind. This is for the Lion.
Just
the
go
locks
with
are for the Lion.
I mean, those are 2 good teams with, I think, the Dolphins. I know they got 1 win. I think Houston's got 1, maybe 2. I think 1 win.
And who's your ice cold take?
Ice cold take, which I kind of gave away, but Indy over Tennessee. It's my upset of the week. I don't know. I think the Colts are a little underrated.
Yeah, I just need
They're a decent
Michael Pittman
team. I feel like it's a divisional game.
Right.
They need to win this to keep up with pace with the Titans, and I think the Titans' defense is pretty weak. So
those division games you gotta be really careful about. Just like when I was a Saints fan, I know we could beat Atlanta every year, but I'm still scared to play Atlanta because they can come up and surprise us. They did that last season. They beat us in a game last year when we played Atlanta. So my Week 8 predictions. So for Thursday Night Football tonight, like I said, I have Green Bay upsetting Arizona and ending their undefeated streak. I have Atlanta over Carolina. I have Buffalo over Miami. I actually have the 49ers over the Bears. This is where me and you start to kind of taper off and have different predictions. I have Pittsburgh over Cleveland. I have Detroit getting their first win of the year over Philadelphia. I'm a big Detroit fan. Like Dan Campbell, I'm on their little bandwagon. They're a really competitive team that have 0 wins. Like, honestly, they held the Rams pretty close last week.
They've lost on 2. By the way, they've lost on 2 last play 50-plus yard field goals when they were winning and lost. Yeah. So, I mean, that's tough.
They're there. They're just not getting the job done. So, like I said, Detroit over Philadelphia. This is where me and you start to differ. I have Tennessee over Indianapolis. I have Cincinnati destroying the Jets. Same thing. I have the Rams destroying Houston. My freezing cold take of the week is right here. Listen up. I have Jacksonville traveling to Seattle and getting the dub. I just don't think Geno Smith's that good. I think Urban Meyer's coming out with a good game plan. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to ball out. I have the Saints, the Hoodats, beating the Bucks, even though you have no faith in the Saints this year. Just like your 3rd time.
Dude, I'm a realist, man.
You just got to have faith. Dude. You're going to be a real Saints
Doesn't mean
fan.
I'm not a fan.
So then I have Denver over Washington. I agree with you right there. Disagree with you about the Dallas and Minnesota game. I have Dallas blowing the doors off Minnesota in that one. And Monday Night Football. You got to think about this. Pat Mahomes might be out. So I have the Giants beating the Chiefs.
I did not know he would be out.
He might be. They don't know yet.
Okay.
My 2 locks of the week is Cincinnati winning over the Jets and Tennessee winning over Indianapolis. And like I said, my ice cold take is Jacksonville over Seattle. Now, I think the game of the week is Tampa Bay traveling to New Orleans. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that's the game of the week?
I'd agree with that.
That's probably the one you're circling. Everybody's going to watch.
I'm thinking Tampa Bay, but I mean, obviously, I hope the Saints win. I think we have a fighting chance with our defense. I just don't know if we could score enough to keep pace with them. That's my thing.
We might. You never know. We got Mark Ingram back. Now we have someone who can run the ball really good.
That's the big news of the week. So
imagine when we get
the Texans traded Mark Ingram back to the Saints, reunited.
What number do you think he's going to wear? That's the big thing.
Is 22 Gardner Johnson?
Yeah, Gardner. But he tweeted yesterday, "Come at me." He tweeted to Mark
Ingram.
Ingram.
Give it to him?
He said, "I know the number means a lot to you. Come see me."
I think he'll stick with that. Dude, that brings a lot of good memories back too, man. That's when we first started getting good.
Yeah,
with Ingram.
I love Ingram.
It hasn't
Ingram
really felt
Kamara.
the same without him, to be honest.
They like college roommates, cool college roommates.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So here's how I look at it, dude. It's a win-win. Like his contract is only $2.5 million. That's nothing. It's really no money. We probably traded them like a 5th and a 6th round draft pick for him. Nothing too much. But here's the thing about his number. So he either gets 22 or he's been wearing a number he's never worn before because he's wearing 2 right now with the Texans. Mm-hmm. We know Jay Boo's wearing number 2, our quarterback.
Jabba.
22 is Gardner Johnson, right? Mm-hmm. And 28 is Debo, I think. So like he has to choose a new number because remember when he first got drafted by the Saints, he wore 28 and then he switched to 22. So hopefully he.
What do you wear in college at Bama? Was it 28?
It was 20. I think it was 22. It was definitely 22.
I read it today. Up real quick.
It was 22.
I think you're right. You clarify that.
Go ahead and clarify. He doesn't trust my sports takes, guys.
Nah, you could go on.
Said the reason I have the lion.
I just don't want to be saying anything and get roasted in the comments.
They are going to roast us in the comments. He did. Promise.
Mark Ingram.
College
number.
22, boy. What I told you, bro. Come on.
Initially, yeah.
22.
I was just
I remember him running all over LSU every year. So that's why. All right, so you want to go over our stardoms and situms for this week?
Yes, I got mine on the back.
There you go, man.
I'll take the stardoms. I got Captain Kirk. Like, I think the Vikings are going to upset them. Even if the Cowboys win, I know they've been really good. It's going to be a shootout and a close game. I don't think they're going to blow them out like you said. But start Captain Kirk. Carson Wentz. That was my freezing cold take over Tennessee. They got a vulnerable defense. I think you could start him if you need help at quarterback. Devontae Booker against the Chiefs defense. If Saquon doesn't play. If he plays, I don't know. And then Bills running backs versus Miami. Defense has been disappointing. We touched on that earlier. And then Devontae Smith against Detroit. I think he finally has a breakout game. I'm personally starting him as my flex, so hopefully he does good.
That's a good one. I'll take over the sits. Brandon Cooks versus the Rams. That offense is terrible with Davis Mills at quarterback. I think Davis Mills is the worst starting quarterback I've seen in a while. The Rams defense is really good too, and he's been going up against Jalen Ramsey, and Jalen Ramsey's had far more better receivers to go off against than Brandon Cooks. So I have sit Brandon Cooks. I know I predicted them to win, but I'll still sit this quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. I feel like it's to be a get it done type of game. Like they're just
more
to
low
get the job done.
People think.
It's to be a low scoring game. A lot of guys out on both sides of the ball for that one. So I would sit Aaron Rodgers against the Cardinals. Another one I would sit is Najee Harris versus Cleveland. I just think that Cleveland run defense is really good.
That's a guy you got to start if you have him. But
if you have him, you got to start him.
Probably,
but lower your expectations. I don't think he's going to get it done against Cleveland. And then this dude's on my team, and he's been on my sit list every week since we started the podcast, Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson's just been complete garbage this season. He's averaging like 8 points a game in PPR. Yeah. So just sit him. He's going against Denver. Denver has a pretty solid defense for the most part. So just kind of sit him. And you should be good. What's your fantasy team looking like right now? Your record's 5 and what?
So I started off 0-1. Then I won 4 straight, and now I've lost 2 straight. I'm 4-3.
Oh, you're 4-3. Yeah, I'm 3-4.
I have had injuries though. Chubb has been banged up. He's supposed to come back this week. Still listed as questionable. Kareem's on IR. So it's been looking kind of rough, but I made some transactions. I got Samaje Perine.
There you go.
Kenny Galladay might come back. The Giants, by the way, I think between Tony, Galladay, and Saquon, they're all 3 questionable. That's going to be big. They've been all banged up. All their skill position guys on the Giants. So I think that's going to be huge, depending on who comes back, whether they can beat Kansas City or not.
Gotcha. And let's just kind of wrap it up with our 2021 MVP. So if the season ended today, tell me who would be your MVP and why.
That's a tough one. I'll just go with Kyler because they're the best team right now, and he's the quarterback, and he's doing really good. One sleeper, he's definitely going to run away with Rookie of the Year, but Jamar Chase, I mean, if a quarterback doesn't step up, I would love to see him win. I think he would deserve it too. If he keeps up this pace as a rookie, he's almost on pace for 1,500 yards or something crazy.
He'd break Jet's record from last year.
Yeah, I mean, he should definitely be considered because I hate how it's just a quarterback award.
Yeah, even though it really is a quarterback award. Now I think I might have been telling this to you this week. I hate the Offensive Player of the Year and the MVP award. To me, that is the Offensive Player of the Year MVP.
It's
just
so
because
rare.
a defensive guy never wins
defensive guy won a MVP?
Right. So it makes zero sense to me how Like, I think a couple seasons ago, Tom Brady won Offensive Player of the Year, but Matt Ryan won MVP. Like, isn't Matt Ryan supposed to win Offensive Player of the Year, too? Like, that makes kind of one of those weird things in the NFL. But if it was up to me and it ended today, the 2021 season, I'd have King Henry as my MVP.
Yeah.
You know,
I forgot about him. He's been going off as well.
Technically, hey, he was quarterback for a throw last week. He threw for a touchdown against the Chiefs.
Yeah, he's done that a couple times now.
He's done that a few times. He's done it a few times against the Chiefs,
he did
too.
In the playoffs a few years ago, too.
Yeah, so I'd have Derrick Henry. I think especially because, you know, the NFL had that 17th game this season. I think if he gets over 2,000 yards, which he probably will, with
his workload
knock on
is
wood,
insane.
let's hope he doesn't get injured. Yeah. His workload's insane. If he gets over 2,000 yards
keeps
again,
it up too. He's just, I mean, he's
you got to give it
shot.
to him.
He's, what, 6'3", 250?
Yeah, and
I saw
quick.
something interesting too on Instagram the other day. I'm a big soccer guy, and in La Liga, I don't know if y'all know, but that's one of the biggest leagues in the world in Spain. Real Madrid, huge club, whatever. The fastest player in La Liga recorded this year was like 21 miles an hour or something. A Real Madrid player, Derrick Henry, was literally 0.01 seconds slower than a soccer player, and that dude weighs about 150.
Damn, that's
and Henry's
crazy.
250. So just think about that. He's running that fast and that big.
That's crazy.
It's a nightmare. I mean,
but yeah, so I'd have Derrick Henry, man. I've always been a huge Derrick Henry fan, even though he went to Alabama. He's one of those players I just love.
I kind of had some bad blood because he beat out Fournette. He kind of stole the Heisman from Fournette after they beat us in 2015. But hey, I mean, he's a good player. It's hard to not like him.
He definitely is, and I'm going to see him play in person in 2 weeks when the Saints travel to Tennessee to play. That's be a good game.
Yeah.
So, guys, that's it for this week's episode of the podcast. Tune in next week to see who wins the Lion. I'm Gerard.
This is Chase.
And this is the Lions Den Sports Talk Podcast.
Catch y'all next week.